Hello, my name is Tethlin Penry. I'm a solitary pagan witch. I'm an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. Today's little chat is a little more about not magic. Some of you will know that I've written a book about it, which is, I'll put the link in down below. Now, what was this one about? The thing about knots is that they are magical, whether we like it or not. They do strange things. And I think most people will know if you put a necklace away, even if you put it away in a box, you quite often come to take it out and there'll be a knot in it. If you put several chains together, well, you've got a load of knots to unravel. And this is actually been proved to be the case. It's not, it's not, oh, you must have done it, been sleepwalking and tied a knot in it. It's not true. In 2006, there was some scientists in Bristol University, and they found that ball chains, which are the type that get used with sink plugs, the little blobs all together, and they set them on a vibrating dish for 30 seconds, and they found that they tied themselves in knots. And so, really, when you think of it, it's no wonder that people have been believing that knots are magical for a very long time. It's where our word spellbound comes from, to bind somebody with magic. You bind them with a knot. And an enchanter in Hebrew literature, like the Old Testament, an enchanter was called, and I can't pronounce it, so you're going to have to excuse me, but it looks very like Hober Haber. Now, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it meant a man who ties magic knots. So it's a very ancient belief. And there was a Greek poet, come astronomer, called Aratus of Soli in the 3rd century BCE, and he said that Alpha Piscium, which is a star in the constellation of Pisces, was a beautiful and great star which is known as the knot of the heavens. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely to think there's a knot of the heavens looking down on us. I'm not very good at astronomy, it must be said, but it is a fantastic, just to sit out under the stars, stand out under the stars. Even if I can't recognise most of them, it doesn't matter. I still know the great knot of the heavens is up there looking down on me. So normally when you want to prevent something moving, for example, you'll tie it. You'll tie a bow on a present to stop the wrapping paper coming off, especially if you don't use sellotape. You might tether a horse to a rail. You put a lead on a dog. It's all about tying and clipping and holding. And so when you think of it, if you want to stop something moving, if you want to hinder the actions of another person or animals or even things, you do a spell using knot magic. And if you undo a knot, this will loosen the magic, weaken its power. And in fact, when people were giving birth many years ago, it was a tradition to go around the house opening all the doors, undoing shoelaces, undoing lacings on clothes, because of course buttons are quite late, really. They came in the medieval period. Before that it was laces, and they didn't have buttonholes. That was the problem. So they'd have sort of I forgot what you call them, but they're the things you slot a button into. I can't think what it's called. Somebody can write it down below and I'll be very grateful. So the idea of doing this was to hinder any magic that had been cast upon the woman to stop her giving birth. So I think it's rather nice, actually. They did it sometimes at weddings as well. Although I have this terrible image of people slopping along, going up the aisle with their shoes falling off and their clothes all raggedy looking, but still, it doesn't matter. And the way it works, just briefly to finish off, why do they do it this way? Tighten to bind and loosen to unbind. It's like curing like, similia similibus curantur. It's the idea that just as, so may. Just as I tighten this knot, so may so-and-so be bound more tightly to her studies. Let's say that. And just as I loosen this knot, may so-and-so have the courage perhaps to walk away from a job that's really not right for them. Something like that. Very simple. It keeps within the spirit of the old as above, so below maxim from the Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus. It's as above, so below, just as, so may. It's the same sort of principle. And it underpins everything that a solitary witch can do, whether it's ritual or magic, whatever you want to do. It does underpin it all. Very, very simple. Keep it simple. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.